Hi everyone, I'm Claire. Something amazing happened to me recently. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let's get it on. It all began a couple of years ago. My dad was appointed sheriff of a small town on the border of Canada, and we moved there. I liked the forests, cozy houses, and serious people there right away. The day after we moved, Dad put on his uniform and went to work while I headed to my new school. Good luck, honey. I'm sure you'll find good friends there. Thank you, Dad. And he was right. Everyone at school was very friendly. I even made friends right away. Hey, new girl, come sit with us. And that's how I met Nikki and her boyfriend, Greg. They were great guys, and we started spending a lot of time together. Things were going great until one day. Claire, I'm throwing a party tonight. You're coming, right? I wouldn't miss it for the world. I went home after school and I changed my clothes. After all, I had to look awesome at my very first party in the new town. I got a gift for Nikki and I went to her place. I was very excited. Then a guy drove out of an alley on a motorcycle. It was so sudden I jumped away, stumbled, and fell into a puddle. My new dress was ruined. Damn it. That guy took off his helmet, looked at me indifferently, and said, "Watch where you're going." Excuse me? I was about to tell him everything I thought of him, but that bastard quickly took off. Okay, let's take a deep breath. I'm not in heaven, am I? There were bound to be morons here too. I decided not to go back home, and I came to the party in dirty clothes. I could always just say it was a new trend. However, my friend immediately realized something was wrong. Hey, what happened? I'm fine. I just fell into a puddle because of some idiot on a motorcycle. Here, this is for you. Sorry it's a little bit dirty. Thank you, Claire. Come on in. You know all the guys here already. Well, except for that jerk over there. That's my brother, Milo. I looked at her brother and immediately recognized him. It was that guy on the motorcycle. What a coincidence. Oh, he'd pay for what he did. How could you be so reckless? You drive a motorcycle. Oh, you're the girl in the pink dress. Yeah, it's gray now, thanks to you. I wanted to pounce on that smug fool, but Nikki stopped me. Milo is the black sheep of our family. Just ignore him. How could someone as amazing as Nikki have such an obnoxious brother? He stared at me all evening, but I stubbornly ignored him. The nerve of him! You've probably guessed it already, but after that party, for some reason, I started running into Milo much more often. Either the town was smaller than I thought it was, or he was seeking me out on purpose. Hop on, I'll give you a lift. No thanks. He wouldn't leave me alone. I grew used to Milo's antics and was no longer mad at him for the incident with the puddle. I even thought he was cute. That's nuts, I know. My friend told me I'd lost it when I told her about it. Claire, Milo was nothing but trouble. I know, but good girls fall for bad guys all the time. I won't keep you in suspense. Milo and I became an item, and you know what? I didn't regret it. He was reckless, but also kind and sweet. However, no one supported our relationship. Milo will break your heart. He has a bad reputation. Claire, I forbid you from dating him. Even Nikki and Milo's parents tried to convince me to dump him. My girl, our son is no good. Someday he'll get in trouble. I'm sure of it. And they were right. One evening, my dad was called into work. Soon, Nikki called me and said Milo had stolen their father's car and got it into an accident. He crashed into a store that belongs to Greg's parents. Now he's in big trouble. No, this can't be happening. Milo wouldn't have done that. I ran to the sheriff's office and I told Dad Milo couldn't have done it. He had to have been framed. Claire, he confessed already. I told you to stay away from him. Wait, Milo confessed? That made my blood boil. I rushed to his cell where he was being held and I went ballistic. I thought you would come to your senses and become normal. You disappointed me. Goodbye, we're done. Milo looked sad, but I didn't feel sorry for him. It was his own fault. I went home and I tried to get that fool out of my head. I didn't visit him after that, and Nikki told me Milo was sent to prison for 2 years. He'd gotten off easy. The next year wasn't as exciting. I was finishing school, so I devoted a lot of time to studying. After classes, I often hung out with Nikki and Greg. I didn't ask anything about Milo, even though I still thought about him sometimes. And then, one day, Nikki shocked me right before the exams. My wayward brother is back. He was released early. I hadn't expected that. I spent several days wondering if I wanted to see him. But then, Nikki and I were sitting in a cafe when a ripped guy covered in tattoos sat down next to us. Hi, did you miss me? Milo? I barely recognized him. Now he was even more dangerous. I shrank back and I couldn't bring myself to say anything. While he was ordering a burger, I quietly snuck away. He had changed so much. I was afraid of Milo and I tried to avoid him. Still, I wondered what happened to him.
That guy is a criminal. Stay away from him.
I wasn't going to approach Milo, but our town was so small that I kept bumping into him. Luckily, things were about to change. Let's finish school and go to college together. We'll be grown-ups soon. Yeah, I like that plan. We were focused on getting ready for the exams and barely had any free time. Naturally, Greg didn't like that. After all, he had no plans of getting into college or moving to another city.
Nikki, what about me? I'm your boyfriend.
I'm sorry, Greg, but this is our chance to get out of here. I was looking forward to never seeing Milo again. Unfortunately, soon, someone started messing with my friend. First, they spilled soda on Nikki's laptop. What the hell? My presentation for college admission was on this. Who did it? Then, someone ruined the documents that I needed to apply for a scholarship. This isn't a coincidence. Someone is doing this to us on purpose. And I think I know who's to blame. Milo. Who else could it be? He was taking revenge on me for leaving him. One day, he went too far. That day, I was leaving school when I saw Milo arguing with Greg. He grabbed the poor guy and looked like he was about to hit him. Who did Milo think he was? I ran up to them and pushed him away. What's wrong with you? You were unhinged before, but now that you've come back from prison, you're a real scumbag. Life was so peaceful when you were gone. Milo looked at me sadly and left without a word. On the one hand, I felt bad for him, but on the other, he scared me. After that, he was nowhere to be found. I didn't see him the next day or the day after that. Soon, I grew worried and I asked Nikki about it. Where is your brother right now? I don't know. He hasn't been home in several days, but our parents don't care. I was surprised by that. He was their son, after all. Why wasn't anyone worried about him? Then, Greg said he'd seen Milo driving towards the forest, so I headed there. After all, we used to be close. I left the city, and when the road ended, I headed deeper into the forest. Damn, I really should have changed my clothes and told Dad where I was going. But now it was too late and there was no signal. I was walking through the forest for quite a while when I finally saw a tent, a campfire, and a familiar motorcycle. All of a sudden, I heard a crunch of a branch behind my back. I turned around and saw Milo right in front of me. He was looming over me like a forest monster. I jerked back, stumbled, and fell into a puddle.
Are you always going to react to me that way?
That's when I realized how dumb I was acting. I was alone in a forest with a criminal, and I had no idea what he was capable of. But all Milo did was help me up. Even though he looked scary, his eyes were kind and a little sad. He led me to his camp and sat me down by the fire. What are you doing here?
What else was I supposed to do? You're all afraid of me and you think I'm a criminal, so I decided to become a hermit.
But you really did commit a crime. Milo smirked and said it wasn't true. He hadn't even been to prison.
My parents just paid a fine and sent me to live with my uncle in Canada. I spent the last year working at a sawmill. As you can see, I worked out a lot and I got a couple of tattoos. When my uncle got sick, I came back.
I can't believe it. Why did your mom and dad do that?
I'm different from everyone in my family. My parents are proud of my sister, even though she can be a lot, but they don't forgive any of my mistakes.
Then why did you threaten poor Greg? He didn't do anything to you.
He's not as innocent as you think. I saw him pour soda on Nikki's laptop, and he was the one who ruined your documents. Someone had to teach him a lesson.
What? Had Greg really done that? Or was Milo just slandering Nikki's boyfriend? I didn't know who to believe anymore. But then I saw the light of a flashlight, and my dad came up to the fire.
Get your hands off my daughter.
Dad, this is a misunderstanding. I came here by myself, but he didn't listen to me. He just grabbed my hand and dragged me towards his car. It turned out that Greg had told my dad I was looking for Milo in the forest. I kept asking Dad question after question once we got in the car. Tell me the truth. Milo wasn't in prison, was he? Dad scowled, but eventually did tell me the truth.
He was staying with his relatives in Canada.
Why would you lie to me?
I didn't want my daughter to date a criminal.
Wait, did Nikki know about this? Has she been lying to me this whole time too?
Trust me, Claire. We did it for you.
From now on, I think I'll decide what's best for me and who I should hang out with. The first thing I did the next day was go to Nikki and demand answers. However, when I came over, she was fighting with Greg. I can't hide the truth any longer. My brother might not be perfect, but he's not a criminal.
Shut up. We aren't telling anyone anything.
You're so mean, Greg. Milo ran away from home. Mom and Dad are not looking for him, and everyone in the city is afraid of him. I can't keep quiet any longer. Things have gone too far.
What was going on? I came up to them and I demanded an explanation. Lying was pointless.
It wasn't Milo who stole Dad's car a year ago. Greg and I did it.
I was the one behind the wheel. I lost control of the car and I crashed into Dad's store.
We would have been in for a world of trouble, so I called Milo and I asked him to take the blame. Everyone already thought he was a troublemaker anyway. This way, I could still go to college.
I can't believe it. How could you do something so despicable to your own brother? You and Greg really deserve each other.
What do you mean, Claire?
Greg, you want to tell us who broke Nikki's laptop and ruined my documents? Or should I?
Greg looked down guiltily. What? Was it you?
I didn't want you to go to college and leave me. You and Claire should stay here.
I left them and I went to look for Milo. I had been so wrong about him. Milo wasn't some criminal covered in tats, but a noble guy who was ready to sacrifice himself for the sake of others. He had been treated so cruelly. I felt incredibly guilty. I left town and I went deep into the forest. However, when I got there, I didn't find Milo's camp. He must have put out the fire, picked up his things, and left. Milo was gone. Oh no, if he left now, I would never see him again. I hurried back. Where could he be? I was running around town, hoping for a miracle. And then it happened. I saw his motorcycle at an old gas station, and Milo next to it. I breathed a sigh of relief, and I shyly came up to him. Nikki told me everything, so I know you're innocent. I'm so sorry I broke up with you when you needed me the most.
Well, it doesn't matter now. My uncle's been discharged from the hospital and I'm moving back with him. I have no reason to stay in this city. Everyone here thinks I'm a monster.
I don't think that, Milo. I see the real you. You're noble and you're caring. I don't care if no one else sees it. Please, don't leave.
I would be happy to stay, Claire, but even my own parents don't want me here. I should just disappear. Take care of yourself.
Milo got on his bike. I was frantically searching for words to convince him to stay. And then his parents and his sister suddenly ran up to us. Son, wait! Nikki told me that you took the blame for her.
You acted like a real man. You don't have to leave. I'm sorry we always said you were nothing but trouble.
While Milo was talking to his parents, Nikki came up to me. Greg and I are done. He looks like an angel, but he's rotten inside. Why did I never see it before? And Claire, I'm sorry I didn't tell you the truth right away. I was so worried about my reputation that I almost ruined my brother's life.
Nikki had been selfish, but she finally realized it. I found the strength to forgive her. At that moment, I saw Milo hugging his parents out of the corner of my eye. It seemed like they'd made up as well. My boyfriend stayed in town. Yeah, you heard that right. Milo and I became an item again. Even my stern dad was no longer against our relationship. Everyone in town found out what a scoundrel Greg was and started to avoid him. His parents soon sent him to a military camp, hoping he would change. He deserved that, don't you agree? Nikki, Milo, and I are all getting ready for college. Here's what I realized. Looks can be deceiving. You can only judge people by their actions. Do you have friends like Milo and Greg? Share your stories in the comments down below, and I'll see you in future videos.